to hang out after your day on the golf course. Lucky for you, that place exists at Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill in South Lincoln. The 19th hole at the course is great, but it doesn't have 30 TVs showing all sports with 23 beers on tap. You can enjoy all of that at Liquid Assets, as well as delicious smash burgers, wings, and much more. Don't end your hangout after the golf round ends. Get to Liquid Assets Sports Bar and Grill at 2755 Jamie Lane.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Safety is always at the top of mind at Lincoln Electric System. The safety of our employees and the safety of our customers. It's National Safety Month. Visit les.com/safety for tips on all things related to electrical safety.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. It's time for The Finish Line with Bree Marie and James Rolland. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Gentlemen, start your engine!
Welcome into the finish line at 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bree Marie, joined with James Rolland and special guest Addie Delaplante with Jake Bachoven behind the wheel, running those ones and twos, those buttons as we call them. Just a reminder for those who are joining us that you can listen to us in your car and on our 93.7 The Ticket app. Also, watch us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and the Allo channel 961. You can also call in or text in to 402-464-5685. Be a part of the show. We've talked about squatty potties. We've talked about people's role models. Anything, you name it, what you had for breakfast, I don't care. Let us know. We've got a great guest in today. She's coming from us, I believe, from Pennsylvania area? Yes, PA. I don't know if you guys even have corn there, so I'm excited for that one. We've got a lot to talk about, but before we get going, I do want to remind you guys of our awesome show sponsors, Deals Plumbing, Stern Company, and Eagle Raceway. Make sure you hit up Deals. Let them deal with it when it comes to all of your plumbing needs. Stern Co. is the number one, in my opinion, for oil and lubricants. I use all of their stuff, Mobile One, through them for my race car. And then Eagle Raceway, we've got some awesome things to talk about with them. And then some cool things happening this Tuesday as well. James, what's happening at Eagle Raceway this Tuesday?
Well, for the third time ever, we're going to have the 410 sprint cars of the High Limit Sprint Car Series back to the baddest bull ring in the nation, Eagle Raceway.
Ooh, and isn't there a guest that we had on earlier this year that's going to be coming back to Lincoln, Nebraska?
You talking about Cole Nolahoffen?
That's the one I'm talking about with the Brad Sweet car.
Yep, just picked up a win, their first win with Cole as the car chief over at Beaver Dam Raceway, I believe, Friday night.
Yeah, what was that 20K to win or something like that?
No, I'm sure it was something big.
Something big, not quite the 200 or anything like that, a little more zeros.
Yeah, racing for $55,000 on Tuesday night. Get your tickets. They are still available through High Limit Racing. Always a great show out there.
Love it. And then what happened this weekend other than, Thursdays, everybody, I don't know if you need to wash some ice cubes, throw ice cubes down the toilet or the spoon under the pillow, whatever the superstitions are. I don't know what it needs to be, but do it so it stops raining on Thursdays in Columbus, because this is getting crazy. We want to race, and Mother Nature keeps taking over. So what happened the other days?
Well, Mother Nature was Definitely not very friendly. She is very low on my list of favorite people right now because she rained out Beatrice on Friday. Mini E got their races in. Albion, they tried to race, but with the amount of rain that they got, the track just wasn't surfaceable. They went out and reworked it after the first two features to try and finish out the night, but to the benefit of the racers, they went ahead and canceled the rest of their program. So double features be coming up here pretty soon over at the Boone County Raceway. Saturday night went, well, for the most part, went off without a hitch. I really think the high temps and humidity kind of set people's July frustration in here in early June. So there was a little bit of boneheadery at times.
Boneheadery. I like that one. We're going to have to use that more often.
I mean, things happen out there. Sometimes tempers get a little bit flary when they shouldn't. But you know what? Things happen. It's racing. It is an incredibly, high passion sport. A lot of people from outside of what we get to do every week don't realize just how much passion goes into there. And, sometimes it just kind of boils and bubbles over. But your winners from Eagle Raceway on Saturday night, I know this one might come as a shock to you. Nobody really expects to see this guy in victory lane, like hardly ever. But Dylan Richards picked up his 26th win on the season in the Valentino's IMCA Hobby Stocks. For your A1 Iron IMCA stock cars, Kyle Vanover picked up the win. Cole Wayman in your Avid Realty IMCA Sport Mods took a fairly nasty tumble in the sprint car feature.
The race right before the Sport Mod. His dad drove the Sport Mod into staging while Cole was racing the sprint car. Cole decided to do some gymnastic moves, I guess, and then hopped into the Sport Mod and then annihilated the rest of us and won.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
and man,
crazy.
that Sport Mod feature was just excellent from start to finish.
Yes.
For a second there, I thought McLean Reed was going to run him down and pick up his first career win. That would have been a nice storyline because McLean's been, doing the dad thing over the last season. And this year he's kind of let racing take the back seat. But to come out running a partial schedule and run second, that's pretty stout in the crowd that we have at Eagle Raceway. Nate Thompson picked up the win in the Nebraska's Best Lawn and Landscape. It's so hard because that was Nebraska Lottery for so long. I kind of try to mix that class up in my head. But Nate Thompson got the win out of Fremont. That was another stunner of a show. And in your Race Saver Sprint Cars, Tyler Drucke picked up the win. He's another guy that's running part-time at Eagle and just having a ton of success.
Yeah, well, I like that. A lot of great racing action. And then, like you said, we're used to the weekend racing, but we've got the high limit guys. Addie, do you know anything about the high limit sprint car series or any of is that around you guys ever? Do they tour over there?
Yeah, so actually my home track, Grandview Speedway, they come to. They were actually just here. I watched on Flow. Yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, so yeah, they're all over. So Addie just saw them. We're going to see them this Tuesday. So make sure you head out to Eagle Raceway. We'll get some more information on that. James and I will most likely be out there. So if you see us, make sure you say hi. We might have some free swag with us.
There's a possibility. I saw some new boxes of swag sitting out.
All right. Well, enough of that jibber jabber. Hi, Addie. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you. So we were Facebook friends. I don't even know how it started. And I've seen your posts and I've tried to keep up with you a little bit there. And like, you're this race car driver who's also a business owner. And it looks like you're doing a lot of cool things and you're going pretty fast and you're winning some races. So do you want to kind of tell us Lincoln, Nebraska folks who you are and what you do?
Sure. I am Adriana Delaponte. I'm 20 years old. I've been racing since I was 5 years old. I started out in quarter midgets. And then I moved to 600 micros when I was 14, I want to say. And then I got into modifieds a few years back. And I've been doing that more ever since. I actually just got my first win at Big Diamond Speedway 3-4 weeks ago. I don't even know if it's announce that it's been like crazy. Had like 4 finishes this whole year. But yes, I got my first win. I've been racing Grandview for the past few years. That's like my home track every Saturday. And then we race the 600 as we can. And we like to travel a little bit too with the crate. And then we do also have a 358 modified that I've been trying time in, so eventually maybe a couple of years down the line move to that full time.
Could you kind of clear up just a little bit the types of modifieds that you race? I did a little bit of creeping on Facebook and saw that you're I guess what I would call an East Coast crate modified. We're over here in IMCA country with your non-center steer modifieds.
Yes, so it is the crate. So the crates are crate modifieds, and then the bigger motors, which they call
The
350.
358s, are those the same 358 motor that some of the sprint car guys have out in that area?
I wouldn't say that's the same as
I wasn't sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wasn't sure, because just going through results, I see a lot of 358 sprint car races going on over there.
Yeah, no, I think they're definitely different.
All right.
We're like very new to all this. We don't know. We're like James said, we're very IMCA. And so if there's any car that's outside of our 5 main weekly ones, we're like, what are these? What do they do? So it looks like we just on the screen, we've got, I believe that's your mini sprint micro. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? Because I would assume that the driving styles might be a little bit different between the modified and all open wheels.
Yeah. I mean, so the biggest difference I think in the two is more with the 600. It's more about speed and momentum versus the modifieds are like mostly with your driving and really critiquing that versus speed wise. You're definitely first sideways in a micro, like you would be with like a sprint open wheel. Versus the modifieds are more the straighter you are, the better, and most of the circumstances. They're very close, I would say, because I mean you're on a smaller track with the most of the smaller track with the micro, and the modifieds are so big compared to these. I mean, the micro is only 800 pounds versus I think we're like over 2,500 pounds, so it's a big difference in weight that you're handling. And in the micro, I don't run powered steering, but modifieds we do. There's a difference with that. You can run powered steering in the micros, but I prefer not to because I like to feel what I'm.
One less thing to go wrong too.
That's true.
True. Yeah, very true. But speed wise, the 600 is definitely, it feels faster than the crate, but they're very similar in speeds.
I like it. I've always wanted to try one. And then, like, I saw your car, and it's kind of weird how throughout the racing community, like, we use a lot of the same terms or names for things, but then maybe they look so much different. But then underneath all that, they're the same. And so I was very intrigued by it. And I've been following you for a few years now. And it looks like there was, so you had that when you had a few years ago, wasn't there a really, I think it was in the micro, there was like a big indoor show or something like that. Do you want to walk us through kind of what happened and what you were feeling with that one?
Yes. So that was 3 years ago. I want to say now I finished third. I was the first female to ever make it into the feature. Uh, I mean, it's a wild experience. It's because you're like inside, and when you're on the track, you're in an arena, so it's like everybody's on top of you when you're standing. If you stand in the infield, it's like everybody that's sitting in the stands is on top of you, and then if you look up from your car, everybody's on top of you. So it's like very intense. Um, I don't know. It's just an amazing experience, and it's just totally different driving from anywhere else you would go. That's outdoors versus the indoors, and then obviously the dirt's different. Um, but it's a full weekend show, and it's been pretty big the past few years. But no, that race definitely blew up for my career.
Yeah. And what was your, I mean, I know as a female driver, like for me personally, you don't always like to be referred to as that. Sometimes you're like, hey man, I'm racing just like everybody else. But to know that you accomplished something that maybe other young drivers or little girls are able to aspire to do and to make history like that, what was kind of going through your mind and your heart? Like, what were you feeling in that moment? It wasn't just you qualified and you got in the show, like you were top 3, you made tech. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, at one point they were interviewing me after the race, and I couldn't even hear the announcer just from the cheering, and it was like breathtaking. I actually got emotional from it. Um, just because like of how intense the in the moment was. But I feel like with the female thing, I've always grown up to like there was never a difference, like especially in quarter midgets. I never was like the girl with the guys. I was always like part of the group and the kids. And I kind of saw mostly a difference when I moved up into the bigger classes. And that's like you almost have to, as a female, kind of gain respect.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just don't automatically, I don't know, you're automatically seen as less in a way. So you almost like have to prove yourself more than like a male would. But I as much as like it's hard because I don't like to be seen as like a female driver, but I also like the empowerment behind it and um just encouraging other females to want to do it and that you can be successful in it. So I try to like get, you know, 50-50 on both
The
sides.
happy medium, yeah.
I want to be known because I'm a female. I want to be known because I'm also I can drive, you know.
It's great that you have that balance to be able to kind of float both sides of that and make sure that everything's getting covered. Are there a lot of female racers out in your area? We're pretty spoiled here around the Midwest to have a really diverse field of racers.
Yeah, I feel like definitely you guys have more than we do down here. And a lot of them aren't very consistent. They'll be in one class or another class and then um or they when they're younger and then not when they're older or just race when they're older. There's not really a consistency. But we do have like when I first started at Grandview, I was the only female. Now we're up to 3 females. So I mean it's still small, but it's something.
Numbers are improving. That's what matters.
Yes.
I like it. So, what got you into racing? Was it a family member? Was it an experience? I mean, you don't just go to kindergarten and they're like, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Do you want to be a race car driver or an astronaut? Like, what got you into this crazy sport that we all know and love?
Yeah, so I mean, it started with my grandfather raced, and then my 2 uncles raced, and they raced at Grandview. They did every Saturday. That was their thing. That was their life. And then it kind of, I mean, it all stopped before I was born. My older cousin, he did race quarter midgets for like a little bit of time, but there's 4 brothers, and out of all of the grandkids of my grandfather, I'm the only one that really like continued it. And it was my dad who was the only one who didn't even ever drive. He was always like the tire guy.
So it skipped a generation then.
Yeah.
I like it.
And then when I was like 4.5, I honestly still remember this. He took me to the track that I grew up at, racing quarter midgets, Phoenixville Raceway. And he basically said, "You want to try it?" And we did. We have every year they do a driver's experience, so you can have kids take a few laps to see if they like it or think they can do it. And I actually was the first one ever to do it because they had just like created it when I came around. I actually flipped my first lap and
Get it over with.
so mad because I didn't get to complete my laps, but then they let me go back out and I've been racing ever since. I love it.
I love that. I love the resiliency in that too. You're like, no, I'm going to do this. Also, you don't know how hard to push it until you push it hard. So kudos to you for getting that one over with because that happens to all of us.
Yeah, everybody's got to find the limit sometime.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it's a cool story to start off with.
I mean, I was going so slow you could probably walk faster than me. So I think a flip is way cooler. Way cooler.
Yeah, they're either can't control it or they're way too one of the two.
What's that? How's that old saying go? If you're not going to go out there and win, at least go out there, be spectacular, and sell some damn t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of t-shirts, if we have time, you've got a business that I also wanted to talk about a little bit too, because our station is women-led and minority-led as well. So another female entrepreneur. What are you doing? It looks like it's newer and it looks like it's going pretty well.
Yeah, so I started a online boutique that eventually I'd hope to also go to tracks to sell. It's called Wheel Woman Boutique. I started it, when was that? March, I want to say. So going on since then, we have a total of 4 collections out now, and it's actually grown like all over the country. In such a short amount of time. I had started an ambassador program to try to get it out there and get more females involved, and it just like blew up. And so many people I've seen from everywhere posting, or some people say they see it when they go to a racetrack, and it's just turned into like a really great thing. And I have so much that I still have to do with it, but it's I've met so many people from it, so it's been pretty amazing, and everybody loves the clothes and the all the stuff that we have on there, and all the stuff that we also still plan to create. So it's been pretty cool.
Let's dive in a little bit deeper into that once we get back from just a quick break here. Keep it tuned in to 93.7 The Ticket. You're on the finish line.
Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in temperature-controlled high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for spirits and cigars. That's Wall to Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity? Positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com. Midwest Bank is now hiring in Lincoln. They have multiple banking positions open and are looking for dynamic individuals passionate about helping others and building relationships. With a family-friendly culture, competitive benefits, and unique perks, Midwest Bank is a great place to start a new career. Apply today at midwest.bank. Midwest Bank is an equal opportunity employer, member FDIC.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Several irrigation contractors in Lincoln go out of business every year, leaving sprinkler system orphans begging for service. The folks at Judson Irrigation shed a tear for these little fellas. They've been coddling these orphans for more than 40 years. From redesign, repairing, replacing, and restoring, remember the Judson Irrigation Orphanage.
Call the Judson Irrigation Orphanage 402-420-6277 or judsonirrigation.com.
Safety is always at the top of mind at Lincoln Electric System. The safety of our employees and the safety of our customers. It's National Safety Month. Visit les.com/safety for tips on all things related to electrical safety.
Country music star Rodney Atkins will be performing at the Icebox on Friday, June 20th. Tickets start at $30 and doors open at 7 p.m. The capacity is only 3,000, so don't wait. Buy your tickets at lincolnstars.com today before it sells out.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Your Nebraska Lottery announces the 2025 NASCAR Powerball Playoff. And it's a great way to get on track for a chance to win $1,000. From May 27th to June 23rd, buy $2 of Powerball, enter the voucher number online, and you could be one of 20 winners of $1,000 and a chance to win a VIP trip to the NASCAR Championship weekend at Phoenix Raceway. Roar into any Nebraska Lottery retailer and buy $2 of Powerball today. Powerball top prize odds 1 in 292 million.
Make sure you tune in every Saturday from 11 to 12 for all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman. Learn how the game of youth football has grown in and around the capital city with coaches, athletic directors, and league commissioners telling you all about it. It's all things youth football with Tank Perry and Jim Sandman every Saturday from 11 to noon right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the finish line with Bree Marie and James Rolland on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the finish line on 93.7 The Ticket. This is Bree Marie, James Rolland, and Adriana Delaponte Racing. Check her out on Facebook. We'll also drop her other handles as well as the show goes on. But do know you can text in at 402-464-5685 or chat with us, Facebook Live, YouTube Live. We're out there right now. Ask some questions. We've got a foreigner from outside of Nebraska. She's in Pennsylvania, and I think that's so cool. We've got another one of her race cars, her modified, up on the screen right now. So any questions you might have, we don't have these kind of cars around us. So make sure you ask them. We'll be sure to get those answered. James and I, we were sort of chit-chatting, and I've got a couple questions for you, Adriana, if you're ready.
I've got one too.
Uh-oh. James, you want to go first?
Adriana, do you have any idea how much fun announcers probably have saying your name?
Really? You think?
I think so. It's like, it's one of those names that somebody could absolutely just slaughterhouse, but it's also one of those ones that has a really good roll off of the tongue for when you're in kind of those high energy situations.
That's what I was thinking when I was saying it. I was like, man, so James is an announcer, Adriana, if you didn't know that. And so when I was saying it, I was like, oh, I need me a mic on Saturday nights.
You let me know. We'll let you try it.
That might be bad. I might get booed. You guys don't have a screen in your announcer booth. People could just throw things through there.
Homie, I get booed every single week. I don't know if you listened to last week's show, but last week I was actually told that I'm one of the 3 most annoying people on the world, right up there with former President Joe Biden and area stock car driver Dylan Haney.
Oh, lovely, lovely. Did you see his My Race Pass picture of Dan Taylor?
I died.
That was hilarious. Okay,
well,
so anyway.
He's doing that to try. So Dan claimed that he always picked Dylan Haney because Haney's old picture was a picture of Forrest Gump waving on the shrimp boat.
Oh, perfect.
So Dylan changed his picture to a picture of Dan so that Dan would stop picking him and bringing him bad luck.
Oh, and then Dan goes ahead and picks him anyways.
Of course.
Lovely. Okay. Anyways.
Sorry.
So no, you're good. You're good. So Adriana, I know that, watching races, being in races, there's a lot of highs, there's a lot of lows, and there's a lot of just what the heck just happened.
Is there any scaramouche?
Yeah. Have you ever been in any really sketchy situations or wrecks or anything like that? Give us the juicy details on it. We kind of want to hear your perspective and what kind of went right, what kind of went wrong in that situation.
That's a good question. So I feel like quarter midgets through that life, that was nothing compared to like what the big cars are. The 600s is something I've always struggled with. That's because of just the competition difference in that is everyone is consistent. Everyone's great. Everybody, the speed, like I said, it's a speed thing versus a technique thing. And then the modifieds, I've never like, knock on wood, been any like scary accidents or anything like that. I mean, I have been some stuff, but
it's part of it.
Yeah, I've not gotten anything really scary. I haven't even flipped. I mean, the biggest thing I'd say is I rolled over on my side, and that wasn't a hard hit. I feel like it's always the smaller hits that don't look bad that are the ones that hurt. Because all my big ones haven't hurt. I know 2 years ago, I think that was my most expensive hit was one of our big races. It's a 76er lap we do every year.
Oh, wow.
I like almost basically destroyed the whole side of the car. And that was huge. I mean, that was like I think a 10 car pile up. So that's probably the worst I've been in. Which is like great to say.
Yeah,
Honestly.
no, that's really good.
Yeah. No, other than that, I really haven't I don't honestly have never really been hurt or anything like that. Knock on wood.
Oh, we were knocking underneath the table, and then we realized you probably couldn't see it.
We're here.
We just like stomped the yard over here.
Yep.
So that's good. What is kind of I guess what's your mentality when you're out on the track, whether it's, oh, I might wreck or I might win, or kind of what headspace do you get yourself in? And then as far as looking ahead, what's going through your mind when you're racing? What makes you you and the type of racer that you are?
Yeah, I think a lot of honestly, I think the best thing that I am good at is being able to look ahead and seeing what's in front of me. Um, a lot of I miss a lot of wrecks, a lot, and um, not even just knowing what's going on in front of you to try to even pass and things like that, or where to run if it's low or high, things like that. I think that's like my best skill, seeing what's going on in front of me and figuring that out. As far as thoughts, I really don't think I don't think I think of really anything. Like I do under yellow. Like I kind of
Mhm.
like calm down, catch my breath because honestly I don't even know if I breathe when we're under green, to be honest.
Even
But
during the 76er?
yeah, no, I no, I don't tell you honestly if I do or don't. Just because I feel like everything you're just so focused, um, and there's so much going on, so there's like no thoughts. And then like under yellow, it's just I feel I never I always get like, I wouldn't say it's like a get like butterflies in your stomach before you go out, but then once I'm under like yellow or anything like that, I'm like, let's go. I don't have any
Mhm.
fear, but any like nervous feeling or anything like that. As I do like that about myself, so I'm not like all crazy. But I will say the race that I won a few weeks ago, we had like I think like 5 reds. That was horrible. I led most of the race, so that was pretty nerve wracking because you're like just sitting there. You still have 20 laps to go. You're in the lead and there's all these accidents happening, and I mean it was over an hour long race.
Oh my goodness.
It was
That would
horrible.
not fly here.
No,
No,
we'd
that
be
would
getting
be
yelled at in the receiver.
yeah, that would be a long done and over with. And something else, I mean, there's just so much that can change when you're sitting under red too. Your tires get cooled off, battery starts to fade. There's a lot of things that can happen under those reds and sitting there over an hour.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think I'd get antsy. I don't know if my ADHD would allow that, but that's even okay. That's super cool that was, you won that race and you had to go through all of that because I don't know if I could have focused through that. So that's really sweet. Was it kind of, I mean, Red's first thing is what happened and then you're like, is everyone okay? And then it gets down to, am I in the right spot? Like, am I running the right line? How close are they to me? So I can't imagine what was going through your head every time there was a red, but it sounds like, you're able to regroup and kind of refocus. And to me, from what I'm hearing, it sounds like you just like to go out there, have fun and go fast, which is awesome.
Yes. Yeah, luckily with the racetrack that we were at, you're able to kind of see the board and know what lap you're on and who's where in the top 5. And I mean, we race together, I know whose number is so that's kind of nice. But no, that I feel like you get to the point where people are like, I don't know how you sit there for that long in that little seat and being contained. I think it's more like because we don't know any different. You know what I mean? Like I've been so long that it's like I don't know what you're talking about. Feels like spacey to me. It's not anything tight for us. No, but yeah, I mean that race, it was over an hour long, and I forget it was only 30 laps. Like it wasn't anything crazy. So for it to take over an hour was pretty crazy.
Yeah, around this area, a lot of our tracks have a time limit that we have to be completed by for noise ordinances and other lame stuff like that. So you get a minute per lap. That's it. That's all. If you can't finish it in that time, you're done. You're out of here. Next flag ends it.
Do you guys? Do you guys have receivers?
We do. Yes.
What's the craziest thing that can be said on air that you've heard in the receiver before?
That's a good question.
While you think about it, I'll give you mine.
Oh boy, here we go.
I was not racing at the time, but there was a guy, I don't think he races anymore, but something just went all kinds of awry, and it threw stuff all over the racetrack. And I hear on the receiver, 013, make sure you stop on the front straightaway and pick up your junk.
Oh my goodness. My favorite is when they roast you. Like sometimes you'll do something or somebody else will. And it's kind of like those public Facebook groups that are like, you park like a great name. I don't know. That's a thing in Lincoln right now. And you always don't want to be on them. So sometimes you get some
I go out of my way to try and get on there.
And I don't think sometimes fans realize what we hear through them. A lot of times it's good, but sometimes it's kind of funny and goofy. So I was just curious, like if you guys have that or if it's all business.
It's pretty business here, but I will say like at your weekly tracks and when you're there week after week, they do get a little like personal. They'll yell at you or they'll more yell at us like as a group, even though like we know who you're yelling at, but they won't like specifically say who they're talking about. But no, it's like you're getting yelled at by your parents over the race receiver.
Yes.
Yelled at week after week.
Yeah.
Down at Beatrice at a driver's meeting at the end of last year, there was some couple of disgruntled drivers, and they said, well, you just yell at us all the time on these receivers. And I'm sitting up here like, I'm in a booth every night. You haven't heard yelling down here yet. Go up to Eagle. Listen to that receiver one time. It is you can get a lashing, and it's not a bad thing.
It's not bad. It's just funny. It's like you said, it's kind of like they know you. They've watched, they've watched a lot of us grow up because they've got a go-kart track at the same place that the big track is. So they'll be like, I've heard this 33B. What are you doing? Or like one time for me, it was Roger told me, he's like, after the race, he said, get your right front like out of the track. You are digging my track up because I had too low of a ride height. So I don't know. That's kind of funny, but yeah, I definitely get that with like the big shows. I would assume are more businessy. I just wasn't sure if maybe you had any weird or goofy kind of things you've heard out there.
No, I definitely like I'll get like frustrated because sometimes they'll yell and it's like I can't even understand what you're saying. So you're not getting your point across. You're just angry. You might as well just not say anything because it's like they yell and they're like all muffled and you can't even hear what they're saying.
Yeah, it's not like you can pull your earbud out.
I know, and then they're gonna blow your eardrum out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Either that or it's just gonna static your eardrum out. It's crazy how across racing you pretty much have 3 or 4 different models of receivers to use, and there aren't that many microphones in the world, but somehow you get them muffled or overmodulated, cutting in and out. You never know what you're gonna get when you get to a racetrack. But if you ever want to hear somebody that's really funny but stern on the receiver, Jerry Van Sickle, dude, he is a great receiver. Listen.
Oh yeah, he's funny. I went to Boone one time. He's like, some guy spun me out. He goes, "Oh wow, you didn't even give her a chance. You hit her twice." And he was like talking to this guy, and all of us in the field heard him, and so it was a little awkward. But enough of that soapbox. We kind of talked about maybe some negative things that have happened, and it sounds like just by keeping your eyes further out in front of just your nose, like some people do, you've had some fairly good experiences, which is good. Obviously, safety and keeping the car in one piece is the goal. But what was maybe, not talking about the wins, not talking about the history being made, what was a race when you felt like you were the underdog and you took something that was probably nothing and you made it into something? What was one of those experiences that you had?
I think it's definitely that race that we were talking about, that indoor race. I think that was an experience that no one would have expected to happen. I think everybody was in shock that it did happen. So I would kind of say that is my biggest underdog experience. And I would say my most like, honestly, my most like memorable experience from my whole career isn't even on the track. I actually was the first time, in when I first ran the 358 modified, when I came in from practice, my dad actually got emotional because it's well what they used to do, and everything like that. So everybody got emotional. Just like those moments like that make everything so worth what we do.
I like that. I like that. It's definitely a special experience, being able to race with your family or your friends, but especially with your dad and his dad ran. So I think that's crazy. That's cool. I like that.
I love the good family tradition stories, and I've never been one to dislike tears in victory lane because I mean, you know, sometimes you kind of get dogged if you shed a tear or two, but
No, let it rain. Let it rain. Show us the emotion.
absolutely, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, most people that race, it's their life. It's what they do. It's such hard work, and I think that it's the hardest sport that it to basically do, just
I'm
because
hearing some of that emotion right now.
like all the everything in the garage and just even to get to a racetrack is like it's hard. So the fact when you win or something like that, it's overwhelming because of how hard it is.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And on that note, I'm kind of thinking, you're racing two very different types of cars. And we've had people talk before about like the difference between, for us, a late model and like a 360 sprint car. What's it like, the difference between your modified getting into the corner and versus the sprint getting into the corner? What's that feel like? Like, I know you said you don't have power steering in the sprint, but what's kind of like your setup? What are you going for, like lifted or a drop feeling? What is the difference there?
So with the modified, you kind of roll softly into the corner, and then with the micro, you like basically throw yourself into the corner. So that's the
Bump and steer.
yes, yep.
And is it kind of like equal the whole time with the sprint? Like everything feels leveled and you're just sliding the rear end, or what's
Yeah, so you're basically fully sideways. You're turning right to go left the whole way through. Most of the time if we lift, it's just a burp. I feel like we do lift more in like the modifieds than we do in the 600 just to keep that momentum up. But yeah, and then in the crate, yeah, it's kind of the same thing on a heavy track, just like a burp. But I feel like when we slick off and the rest of the night it's all throttle control, so going into the corner is like really big for throttle control and trying to slow your car down, but not slowing your momentum down so much that, you're slowing your pace down.
You kind of touched on rear ends a little bit, and that does make me curious in those East Coast modified, just not seeing them so often around here. I assume that's probably a quick change setup, but what are your bars like? Or is it a standard Ford 9-inch rear end?
Honestly, I don't even know.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
That's all right. All you got to do is drive, honestly.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's interesting that you're in the center of the car versus like where we're at around here. We're on the side, we're in the driver's side. Do you feel like that maybe translates a little bit to the sprint because both you're sitting in the center and maybe you can see or feel the sides a little different? I don't know. I feel like maybe we'd compare it if you were in a side seat, but I guess, do you ever picture yourself in a situation in a car where you'd be on the side versus the center? Like, does that seem foreign to you?
It does. I don't really know of much around here that would do other than like we have like enduros and that's basically like cars so like you run on the street, and we put them on the track. Other than that, I don't think anything around here. I would totally try that, but I feel like that I think it would be a huge difference just of feeling. And because I mean when you're in the center, just like everything's around you versus if you're on the side, everything's kind of on your side.
Yeah.
So
I just can't imagine the difference in the feel. You know, we rely so much on that left side weight to try and help get side bite out of the car. Sitting in the center, I could definitely see how you'd feel a little bit more balanced right off the bat and help kind of ease setup a bit.
Yeah, for sure. Like I said, I feel like when you're on the side, I will say, like, it was weird for me, like when I got my driver's license, how like I'm starting to drive sitting on the side versus like in the middle and not using 2 feet for gas and brake.
Never even thought of that.
Oh, yeah. Like
That's a good point. That's like the first time you drive a golf cart
Uh-huh.
and you're like, wait a second, what's going on here?
Yeah, it was really weird to only use 1 foot and be on the side of a car versus in the middle of a car. Big difference.
So
you're a 2-foot driver on the racetrack?
Yes.
Well, obviously she's winning. You have to be if you're winning,
All right,
right?
fine. Well, I don't know. We'll have to refer to Kyle Larson on this. We'll have to ask him Tuesday night over at Eagle Raceway when the High Limit Sprint Car Series invades the... Okay, I had to do it.
No, that was perfect. That's great. I love that. Good plug. So I love hearing about different cars, obviously. What kind of dirt do you guys have? Like, is it red dirt, sandy dirt, black dirt?
It's Pennsylvania. They got a bit of all of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it just really depends on where you go. Every track is honestly different. Clay,
That's really cool.
dirt, it's different.
Do you do any asphalt racing or plan to at all?
I don't. I did in quarter midgets, but I haven't since it. But I would love to.
Okay. I think we do need to talk about, in just a little bit, we need to talk about your plans in racing, because I have a feeling you're not done and not going to be done for a while. So I definitely want to hear about your goals and dreams as well. We are going to take a quick break. Make sure.
I got one thing before we go.
No.
You were talking about different cars, and I think I'm gonna dust off the old helmet bag this weekend. Coming up Saturday night at Eagle Raceway, there's a tough truck competition. And the rules are semi-lax. I've never, I've watched like stadium trucks and stuff, but I haven't seen a lot of these trophy truck or tough truck competitions around the area. It's a similar concept to the off-road trucks, but it sounds like I might be able to take Esther, the old Ford Focus station wagon, out there to Addie. I hit a deer with this car about a month and a half ago, and I just haven't had the heart to fix it or scrap it. So
The car, not the deer. The deer is done.
Yeah, deer is big
Just so we're
time
clear.
done. Yeah,
Gonzos.
that buck is well beyond the afterlife. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go through the rules, make sure that the seatbelt still works, and I think we're gonna just send that poor old car to her grave.
Okay, so we're going to check in on that. And then I want to know your goals, your dreams. I want to hear it all because I want everyone in Nebraska to know it as well. So stay tuned. Make sure you comment any questions you have. We've got Adriana Delaponte. That is so fun to say, on 93.7 The Ticket. This is The Finish Line.
What do you look for when searching for a plumbing company? Integrity, positive customer reviews? Are they insured and fully licensed? How about a company that has all three? Deals Plumbing in Lincoln is your go-to certified plumbing company that can help you fix anything from leaks to clogs, water heaters, and more. Give Deals Plumbing a call today at 402-525-7311, or you can visit Deals Plumbing online at dealsplumbing.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Go Hog Wild Pet Barbecue.
It's $5.99 barbecue time. Hurry to Hog Wild for a complete barbecue meal that's only $5.99. Get a one-meat sandwich loaded with our award-winning barbecue, plus your choice of a classic side and drink for just $5.99. Upgrade your sandwich to beef brisket for just $1 more. Join us for lunch or dinner in Lincoln at 3210 Cornhusker Highway. Order online at GoHogWild.com.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Nebraska Veterans Aid is here for veterans and dependents facing unforeseen financial emergencies. Get assistance with food, fuel, shelter, clothing, transportation, and even funeral and medical expenses. If you're a veteran facing a financial emergency, apply for Nebraska Veterans Aid through your county veteran service officer. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/NVA. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. Are you looking for a place to relax and unwind after a long week? Grotto Bar and Lounge is the perfect spot to enjoy a full menu and in-house DJs on Friday and Saturday nights. If you're wanting to start your Saturday or Sunday off the right way, stop by for brunch starting at 9 a.m. Don't forget, Grotto offers a full catering service as well for those graduation parties, birthday celebrations, and weekend family get-togethers. Give Grotto Bar and Lounge a call today at 402-261-3019 or visit them in person at 70th and A in the Clock Tower Shopping Center.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Back to the finish line with Bree Marie and James Rolland on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the finish line with Bree Marie, James Rolland, Adriana Della Ponte. That's so fun to say. And we've got Jake Bachhoven on the ones and twos. We do have some questions that we'll get to in just a bit. But since I have a microphone, I'm going to ask my question first. Adriana, what are your dreams? What is the dream behind racing? What is the goal? And there's no dream that's too high. What you got for me?
I would say the big dream would be to race as a career. And that could be in, honestly, any car, any type of car. I just love racing in general and would love to have that as a career. But I would also obviously still like to come home and do what I do with my family and things like that once in a while. But no matter what, I think I'll always be in racing forever, and I think I'll always be in and out of the car. Obviously, I'm going to have kids, and I would like to raise them and where I grew up, because it's just, I think, the best way to raise a kid. I would love to have little racers, and I would love to have, I would love to race eventually with them one day. And I think that would be like the overall goal. But I would never say I have a specific car dream, just because like I said, I would race anything at any point. But like obviously what I do now is more of like a family thing, and I mean it could obviously be more a career also, which would also be fantastic. Um but it's something that I definitely will never stop doing.
I like that. I like and also the little racer thing. It's so cute. Do you guys have any like go-kart tracks near you or anything like that?
Yeah, we have all kinds of different ones.
I love that, and I think it's so fun seeing, like, obviously, you grew up around racing, and, like, as an adult, seeing the youngsters out in their little race suits, and, like, some of them have merchandise, and
Pit
it is
vipers.
yeah, the pit vipers, and it's just so fun to see it come full circle. So I think that'd be really cool, and I bet you'll race some really fast racers too, it sounds like, so that'll be really cool. I like it, it sounds like your grandpa, your dad, you, and it just sounds like this generational thing's going to keep going on. So I love that. That's a good family story, and I hope we get to hear about it someday, sometime. But we do have some questions that I think kind of tie into this. Jake, what do we got?
So Steve Brown off of Facebook says, "How do you maintain your focus during the long caution?"
That's a good one.
That is a good one. I think honestly, because like I said, we're always catching our breath underneath caution. So I feel like taking, deep in and out breaths, kind of regrouping, seeing where I'm at, what position I'm at, if I can see how many laps are left, and kind of see, honestly, if I can see if the top's better or the bottom's better, kind of focusing what I can critique. So once we start again, I can get better.
I like that. We got any other ones?
Yeah, one more question off the text line from 0600 says, "What is your favorite car you have raced and why?"
My favorite car I've raced is the 358 modified, just because I feel I've always enjoyed modifieds better than the mini sprints, and they're faster than the crates. So I would say that is my and the funny story too is I grew up going and watching Grandview, and I never actually wanted to race a modified. I don't know why. I always liked open wheel. I always wanted to race a midget, and I never
America.
decided to try it one day, and then it became my favorite, which is crazy. But no, I would say that's definitely my favorite one, is the 358 modified for sure.
I like that. I like that. Which one? I got to know though. Which one's harder to drive?
So I would say the 358 modified is definitely the hardest to drive because of the speed difference, and like it's like again so much weight. I would say the speed difference, the speed is more closer to like the micro sprint, but because the car's so heavy, it's definitely harder.
That makes sense. That makes sense. So we've got some time here. Who are your sponsors? Who helps turn wrenches? Like, who helps make Adriana Della Ponte Racing? I love saying your name. Go. What makes the wheels turn? Who do you got?
Yeah, I definitely. Obviously, my family, my dad especially, and then all my sponsors. We have True Brand Products, Valvoline Instant Oil Change, VP Fuels, ProTech Roofing, Belmont's Garage, TSL Shocks, Allegheny, Iron Metal. As we have so many, and they've been with us for years, and it wouldn't be possible without them. And then I also have a great racing team. I don't know if you know them or not, but his name is Tim Buckwater, and his racing team. We are basically teammates. I'm racing the crate, and he races the modified, and my car's at his shop, and we race together. So him and their family and their team have helped us now for the past this year and last year, and ever since then we've been great. And he's actually helped me throughout my racing career, so we've known him since I was little. even in the quarter midgets and the micros. So definitely them. And like I said, my dad and just everybody that can help out. We have so many friends that come to the racetrack just to help every night. So it's any help that you can get is huge.
All right. Yeah, I love that.
Excellent. So for Adriana Delaponte, Bree Fansteel, and Jake Bachhoven on the buttons, I'm James Rolland. Thank you for tuning in to The Finish Line. See you back here next Sunday night at 7 on 93.7 The Ticket.
Mike, I've been thinking our house could really use a makeover. How about new siding?
I've been thinking the same thing. Have you heard of James Hardy?
Yes, Sarah down the street had roofing